Hey there, I'm Joe Carter. If you've ever popped the hood and thought, where do I even start? You're in good company. Around here, we take the mystery out of car repair, one fix at a time. Whether you're a beginner or just looking to sharpen your skills, there's something here for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're into learning without the headaches. All right, that's enough from me. Let's get into it.
Malfunctions of the fuel pump necessarily affect the behavior of the car. Therefore, it is important not only to have an idea of the main symptoms of breakdown, but also to know how to change the gasoline pump. Having understood the replacement procedure, you will be able to easily change not only the motor, but also the grid in the future. It does not matter whether you need to change the gasoline pump on the VAZ, Daewoo Lanos, Sens, Chevrolet Lacetti, Aveo, Kia Rio, Ford Focus or Hyundai Solaris, the procedure of handmade replacement will have only minor differences. Reasons for replacement. Characteristic signs of a faulty gasoline pump are drop in power, dips when pressing the accelerator pedal sharply, difficulty starting. The engine starts to choke when the gas pedal is pushed sharply to the floor at low speeds, increased noise level when the engine is turned on. There are stalls, loss of power sometime after starting to drive, and if the engine is allowed to cool down, the interruptions disappear for a short period of time. Before starting to replace the fuel pump, it is important to make sure that the engine malfunctions are related to the fuel supply, and not to the ignition system, ECU, and/or the power supply to the pump motor. A fuel ramp pressure measurement should be taken. If the obtained value at the moment of engine malfunction differs from the normative values, you can proceed to diagnostics of the power supply system. The symptoms described above can cause not only a faulty gasoline pump, but also clogging of the grid, fine fuel filter. Also, do not forget that the cause of interruptions in fuel supply can be a bad contact in the motor supply circuit, torn wires, oxidation, etc. For handmade diagnostics, it is important to know the device and the principle of operation of the gasoline pump. Where the TH is located on the vast majority of passenger cars, the gasoline pump is located inside the tank. TH with a coarse mesh, fuel pressure regulator, fuel level sensor and critical fuel level sensor. And in some cars also fine filter, are held inside the tank by the fuel section. Design features of some cars. Having familiarized yourself with the manual on independent replacement of the gasoline pump on the example of a particular car, you will be able to easily replace it and on any other car. But do not forget that in some cases, the design of the power system will make adjustments to the method of replacement. For example, on the Ford Focus I, Chevrolet Cruze, under the cushion of the rear row of seats there is no technological hole for access to the cover of the fuel section, so to replace the grid and the gasoline pump itself, the tank will have to be dismantled. For convenience of further maintenance, owners often cut out the holes above the fuel module by themselves. On the same Chevrolet Cruze, the manufacturer does not assume a separate replacement of the motor and even the fuel filter. They are simply not in the catalogue of original spare parts. Therefore, in case of failure of the gasoline pump, the fuel module will have to be replaced in its entirety. If you want to save money, the motor can be picked up, for example, from the related Opel Astra. But it will have to be adjusted a little. You can learn about such features of the design from the repair and operation manual or from publications on profile forums of owners of your car model. Tools replacement often requires only a socket head with a collar, a Phillips and slotted screwdriver, and pliers. In some cars, the cover of the technological hole under the rear row of seats is seated on sealant, which for access to the fuel section will need to be cut off. In most cases, the plug is screwed on. It is highly desirable to stock clean rags, which will be able to clean the connection points of hoses, the landing place of the section in the fuel tank. When replacing it is important to prevent dust and dirt from getting inside the hoses and into the tank itself. Important points: after the engine stops, the fuel lines remain pressurized for a long time. The system must be emptied before starting the replacement. To do this, you can pull the fuse of the gasoline pump while the engine is running. Stopping the fuel supply will cause the engine to stop, after which you can start the replacement. Modern fuel hoses are fixed with self-clamping fittings. To remove them, press the clips on the sides of the clips, after which the hose should come off the connector relatively easily. If the gasoline pump is replaced in freezing temperatures, be extremely careful when unclipping plastic clips, removing electrical connectors. Plastic becomes very brittle at sub-zero temperatures. The fuel section must be removed with care, as the float of the remote control unit will interfere with its free exit. When disassembling the fuel module and removing the gasoline pump, pay attention to the presence of sealing sleeves, which should be installed without distortions and deformations during reassembly. After you have changed the gasoline pump and put back all the elements, turn on the ignition a couple of times to allow the fuel pump to pump gasoline into the line and the ramp. At this time you can check the tightness of the connected hoses. Many drivers immediately try to start the engine, and then complain that after replacing the gasoline pump, the car does not start. It is recommended to remove the remote control unit, so as not to damage it in the process of disassembly of the module. Remove the stopper of the fuel pipe tip, remove the pipe and the sealing ring, release the locks of the metal guides, and then separate the parts of the housing, release the latches and pull out the housing of the filter element complete with regulator and gasoline pump. Unlatch the locks of the gasoline pump. It is desirable to install a new gasoline pump with a clean screen. Now, device of the electric gasoline pump. In conclusion, replacing a gasoline pump may seem daunting, but with the right tools and a step-by-step approach, it can be a manageable task. Remember to always prioritize safety by disconnecting the battery and relieving fuel pressure before you begin. By following the guidelines we've discussed, you can save both time and money while ensuring your vehicle runs smoothly. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more helpful automotive tips and tutorials.